Hey, what's going on, guys? Henry Kaminski here from UniqueDesigns.net. And I haven't been in here this week yet, and I wanted to just pop in and share with you some amazing, I'm just getting my Facebook set up here for a second, some amazing takeaways I got from yesterday's event that I was at in New York City. So CNBC and Inc. magazine do an event called the Iconic Tour, and they have a series of featured guests, very high level, well-known entrepreneurs that have achieved tremendous amounts of success. And it was a very intimate group. So there was probably maybe 150, 200 of us at total. And some of the event guests were Daymond John from Shark Tank, Arianna Huffington from the Huffington Post, and she has a new brand now, Globe, Thrive Global. There was Bobby Brown, the fashion designer. Who else? There was Ben Chestnut, the co-founder of MailChimp. There was this really cool cybersecurity dude. I forget his name, but he came on and literally did a demonstration, and within like 3 minutes, he had the person's social security number. It was insane. But anyway, there was a bunch of guests that have achieved tremendous amounts of success. And I love going to these events because you learn from the people that, have achieved that success. And Tony Robbins always says, success leaves clues, right? So, listening to them and how they think and how they look at certain things in entrepreneurship, it really opened up my eyes to a lot of things. And so I want to share with you my notes that I took at the event, which I believe will help a lot of people in this community a lot. So let me share with you some of the one-liners that I kind of wrote down that really made a lot of sense. So there was this woman, I forget her name. She was actually from New Zealand. She had a tremendous story. She actually is the founder of the company called Flywheel. I'm not sure if you guys know what Flywheel is. Let me just double check what this is real quick. Okay. She had an amazing story. So she started out working at Virgin Atlantic with Russell Brunson, Richard Branson. Got fired and then started to work at Nike, and so she had a great story. And now she owns this company called Flywheel, which is just amazing, just crushing it. So some of you guys may know that brand. But some of the things that she said was extreme focus equals extreme results. I thought that was cool. I think a lot of us get blinded by shiny object syndrome, or we're not focused in on our specialty or our expertise or who we truly want to serve and do business with. So that can hold us back, right? So extreme focus equals extreme results. Live to the edge of your potential. So not being in your comfort zone all the damn time. Make failure your fuel. I thought that was really cool. And the other thing I want to say is it was amazing. So we were all able to tweet in questions to the guests, and then the host or the interviewer would take the tweet and read it out, and the guest would answer it. And so it was amazing how many questions were asked about failure. Everybody wanted to know what these folks' biggest failures were, how they overcame them, how to look at failure. And it was just astonishing to me how there was so many people intrigued about failure. And that just told me a couple things. One, I think it's a good idea to pay attention to that. Two, sometimes it's a bad idea because sometimes we're so focused on failure that it stunts our progression and it stunts our growth. So I want you to look at failure going forward as a blessing in disguise, but I don't want you to be so consumed with failure that it holds you back. So play your specialist game was another thing that I wrote down. So knowing what you're really good at and just sticking to that, not trying to be everything to everyone. The sharper you focus, the better you could be. The stronger your foundation, the bolder you will be. The stronger your foundation, the bolder you will be. See, I see a lot of people jumping the gun, including my clients, and which I have to take them back 2 or 3 steps to make sure that they understand the basics and the fundamentals before we can get to where they want to be. For example, I have a client right now that's gung-ho on Facebook advertising and wants to get his name out there and start targeting his market. But the problem is his branding needs help and his messaging needs help. So I don't want to see him spending money on Facebook ads when that's not corrected, when that's not polished and ready to go. Let's get the branding done first, and then we can go into advertising mode and marketing mode. So creating that solid foundation is going to make you a bolder brand. Let's see what else we got here. Turn that down. Partner with those least like you. I think that's a great piece of advice. Be spectacular for a few, not average for many. I think that's awesome. The other one that she said was never coast. So in other words, don't get comfortable. Bring out the extreme in others. Thought that was a very cool one-liner that she said. Narrow your focus, but diversify your team. It's awesome. This was a cool one. So the co-founder of MailChimp, that big email marketing platform, he said, listen hard, change fast. He listens particularly hard to his existing customers because his existing customers tell the story, tell him how they see his brand, which makes it extremely easy for him to now communicate to new customers or to his new audience what exactly MailChimp does for them, which I thought was really cool. So, and then he said, you got to change fast. So once you start to hear this feedback, immediately execute what it is that you're hearing so that it helps you change and adapt quickly. What else? So Arianna Huffington went into a lot of cool things. So she's like a wealth of knowledge. She's 66 years old. She just started a brand new brand. And it's just amazing how passionate and ambitious she is in entrepreneurship. And she talked a lot about meditation and how, you never want to do interviews with people when you're tired. And meditation is a great form of just coming to center and really getting focused in on what it is that's important in your life. And she sits on the board of Uber. And she said that she just had a recent meeting with Travis, the founder of Uber, and they were just about to walk into a meeting, and Travis said, time out. I'm going into a meditation room, and I'm going to meditate for 20 minutes before I go into this meeting because I need to be fresh. And I thought that was really interesting. So if you're unfamiliar about meditation, I would go and do your research on it and start small. She said, start small. You don't have to go crazy on diving deep into meditation if you're not familiar with it. She said, start small, start 5 minutes a day and then work your way up. But she talked a lot about that. She said, micro step your way to change. Stop trying to make these drastic changes. Make little incremental changes along the way. Not only is that going to build your confidence, but it's going to build your brand in a more concrete, it's going to strengthen everything as you go, a lot better than trying to make these big, huge leaps. They were all of the guests said that one of the biggest failures that they had in the past when they first started building their business was that they hired the wrong people, and that when you do that, it creates like a cancer inside the business, and one person can take down a whole organization. So the one guest, I forget his name, he owns a company called Boxed. And he's at oh my God, his valuation for his business is $1 billion at this point. And just amazing guy. He was an Asian fellow. I forget his name. I think it's Chow Hong or something like that. And he said, I interview every person that is hired. He's got 200 employees at this point. And he said, I'm basically the chief no asshole officer. I thought that was really cool because he will not hire any assholes on his team, because they will spread like cancer and really affect the entire organization's culture. So hiring the right people is extremely important. You can't achieve everything by yourself, he said, which I thought was fact. You know, the way I got my business to 8 designers, 1 project manager, a whole separate website development team, which is a series of 8 designers there. So we're at a total of like 18 employees now at this point in Unique Designz in my business. And I would never be able to do what I do today by myself. And he says, if anybody says that they're self-made or they're self this, they're self that, they're full of crap, because they can't get to where they are without help. And I thought that was extremely impactful for everybody to hear that. Stay tuned to who you are. The other thing he said was, don't half-ass 2 things, whole-ass 1 thing. I thought that was really cool. Stop trying to spread yourself too thin, or put in 50% here and 50% here. He said, go all in on 1 thing and you will see amazing results. Then there was a guy he actually teaches at Harvard Business School. His name is Deepak Hope something. Awesome guy. He spent 40 minutes on negotiation. And he went through 22 tweaks. I'm not going to go through all 22, obviously, with you, but the biggest takeaway that I got from him was this: when you're in negotiating, position, right? He said, asking why is more important than asking what. And he really talked about empathy and said, putting yourself in the other person's shoes. And really, negotiation is all about understanding the other individual and how, and it's more about their why. And a lot of times people don't do deals is because they're just naive, or they don't understand the other person, or there's a misunderstanding. So it all comes down to understanding and empathy when it comes to negotiation. I mean, the more you can put yourself in another person's shoes, the better the deal will go down, and the better the negotiator you will become. So I thought that was really cool. He said, tell the truth always. You gotta trust people. Who said this? Steve Lindy. He's the owner of Brooklyn Brewery, and he said you have to trust people in order to build your business, build your brand. He said you can't micromanage people; it's only going to drive you crazy. I thought that was really great advice for seasoned entrepreneurs or people that are just starting out building their team. And then there was Kevin O'Leary from the Shark Tank. His president was on stage, and there was another woman who was she was an angel investor, and they helped us perfect our pitch. You know, if we're pitching a new idea or pitching a new concept to an investor, here's here's some takeaways from that, which was really, really awesome. So they said, stop, don't be too salesy. Don't say that there's no competition. Give them an investment pitch, not a product pitch. Be specific. Pitch the deal, not the business. Be authentic. And those were some really good points, obviously, when it comes to pitching. Oh, okay. So Daymond John was the last guest, and he said a couple of things. Don't quit your day job. If you're just starting out, build up a skill set, build up something that you're really good at, and don't quit your day job. Make sure that you're doing things simultaneously, and then build up the business enough where it's ready to go and fly on its own. And I related with that so much because that's how I started Unique Designz. I worked 2 jobs, Unique Designz, and my corporate job for 3 years, 3 years before I went off and did Unique Designz all by itself. So think before you move. It's like playing chess. Take inventory of yourself. So know what you're really, really good at. Where are you strong? Where are you weak? Delegate the weakness, focus on your strengths. What can you trade people? So for example, if you're just starting out and you're looking to leverage other people that have things that you don't have, how can you trade? What can you do for them? And in return, them helping you. So again, I remember Sean Thomas doing a Instagram live about this, and one of his pet peeves about doing this is not being authentic about it. So being authentic up front and saying, hey, listen, Sean, I really need your help. What I'm looking to do is, let's use me for example. What I'm looking to do is I'll help you with your branding. I'll help you do this. I'll help you do that. Whatever he needs. See, the key part here is to understand what they need first, and then saying, hey, I can help you with that. No problem. It's just like finding somebody on the side of the street with a flat tire, right? And pulling over and saying, let me give you a hand, right? And helping them fix the flat. That's more authentic than just trying to offer your service in hopes that you can ask for something in return. So let's avoid that at all costs. But being authentic with the trade is key. And then he said at the end, Daymond said at the end, the secret to success is just getting out there and freaking working. Busting your butt and just getting out there in the beginning and doing everything that you possibly can to build the business and really paying your dues. That's what he said. He said, you got to pay your dues up front. There's no such thing as instant success. And then Steve Hindy talked about how, the best way to be an overnight success is after you put in 10 years of experience and 10 years of work. And I thought that was really, really cool because I'm at my 10-year mark in my business this year. And I truly feel the same way. I mean, people see what I'm doing online and they're like, oh my God, that's amazing. I want to be that. But they don't realize that today took 10 years. What I'm doing today took 10 years of experience and failure and successes and laughs and cries. And so I want to reiterate that and emphasize that you have to pay your dues, you have to put in the work, and you have to really showcase your expertise. And the way to do that is doing it and showing people that you are credible and that you are competent in what you do and that you're really good at it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you got some value out of it because I got a lot out of these. I love going to these conferences because it really helps me level up my game. So not only did I get to interact with a panel of amazing entrepreneurs that have done amazing things in their business, but I actually got to mingle with 200 other entrepreneurs that were in the audience that I found just to be amazing people. So there is great value in being in communities like this tribe and having a mentor of some sort to help and guide you along your entrepreneurial journey. So hope you got some value out of this, guys. leave some comments, leave some questions below, and be happy to get back to you as soon as possible. So have an awesome day, guys. I'll talk to you soon.